What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am the Scarlet Karibo, and today we are going over the Dark World deck profile. So, we're in 2024, and Dark Worlds are still very powerful. The deck came out like a long time ago, back with an old structure deck. We have a new Dark World structure deck now that's going to give us a new boss monster, Grapha the Dragon Overlord of Dark World. Super easy to bring out, so let's get into the list. First things first, we have 2 copies of Grapha, the Dragon Lord of Dark World, as well as 2 copies of Rainbow, the Overking of Dark World. So, when you discard these cards, they're going to give you really powerful effects. This one's going to be able to pop 1 card your opponent controls, very powerful effect. And this one is going to be able to add a level 5 or higher Dark World from your deck to your hand. So this one's going to get you a search. This one's going to pop your opponent. As well, when they're in your graveyard, all you have to do is return one of your Dark Worlds from your field to your hand. Then you can special summon them out from the grave. So they have this great recursion effect as well. You're always going to be able to summon these guys out really easily. We're going to use 3 copies of Snow, Unlight of the Dark World. When you discard it, it's going to be a searcher for you, as well as 3 copies of Brow, Huntsman of the Dark World. When you discard it, it's going to give you a draw. So this is going to be like our main core of the engine. The other really important card we have is Ceruli, the Guru of the Dark World. So this card's really important. You put it on your opponent's field, and then you get to discard a card because of this card's effect. While it's on your opponent's field, all of these cards are going to get an additional effect. It's also really powerful. It's why the Dark Worlds are really tricky, because this card's going to be able to plus you off in a bunch of different ways. Like a great example, when you use Ceruli to pop Grapha, you can discard it from your hand. It's going to not only pop a card, but it's also going to be able to hand rip from your opponent. So it gives you like an additional effect with some of the Dark World cards. Very good card. We're going to use Ceruli a lot. Moving on, we're going to use 3 copies of Geta, Gateman of the Dark World. So, Geta Gate is really powerful. It's going to be able to search you the field spell, which is kind of like the main engine piece of the deck. As well, when this card is banished, usually off of the field spell's effect, it's going to be able to special summon itself off for free. So it's kind of like a 1-card combo. You're able to discard it, search the field spell, use the field spell, banish it out, special summon it, and then you get a free draw. So it's a really good core card, and we always want to use 3 of this card. One of the best newer Dark World cards we got. We're also going to use 1 copy of Silva, the Warlord of Dark World. You can use more copies of this, you can use gold, very powerful cards. When you discard them, they special summon themselves out for free. So it gives you a lot of swarm potential. To get more discards, we're going to use 2 copies of Danger Bigfoot, 1 copy of Danger Dogman, 1 copy of Danger Thunderbird, 1 copy of Danger Sukinochi, as well as 2 copies of Danger Mothman. So it's going to be our Danger core. All of them are good cards. They basically help you facilitate draws. When you use it, you get to play a minigame. You shuffle up your hand, your opponent snipes a card from the hand. If you discard this card, you get an effect. If you discard another card, then you get to special summon this guy. So it's like a win-win. All of the Dangers do that. The Danger Bigfoot is my favorite personally, especially because I got this cool gold rare. So the Danger cards are really important. To end off the monsters, we are going to use 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. You can bump this up to 3, you can use any hand trap in these spots. Always very helpful. Moving on into the spells, we're going to use 3 copies of Gates of Dark World. Just like I was talking about before with Geta, this is going to be one of the most important cards in the entire deck. You get to banish a fiend from your grave, one of the ones that you keep discarding. You get to then draw a card, and then you'll get the effect of whichever one you discard. Very good card. We're going to use 1 copy of Terraforming to help fish out the Geta Gate. We're going to use 3 copies of Dark World Dealings. This is another free card. You draw a card, you discard a card. It's unbelievable. Exodia has used this in better ways than Dark World, but we also want 3 of this. Lastly, we're going to use 2 copies of Dark World Ascension. This is going to be the main spell cards for the Dark Worlds. This is going to be able to fusion summon for your Grapha, the Overlord Dragon. That's going to be this guy over here. And it's a quick effect, so you get to use it in a lot of interesting and kind of tricky ways. We also use 1 Card Destruction and 1 Called by the Grave. Called by, you always want 1 of. It's perfect. Card Destruction, you get to discard your entire hand. Let's just say you have 5 Dark World monsters in your hand. You use Card Destruction, you send them all off. Not only are you getting to draw 5, you also get all of the effects of the ones you just discarded. So Card Destruction is unbelievable. You gotta use it. For the traps, we are going to use 3 copies of Dark World Punishment. It's going to be our negate, our in-archetype negate. Very powerful card. We're also going to use 3 copies of Skill Drain. All of our effects activate in the grave, so we're not really hurting when Skill Drain is activated, but your opponent will cry as soon as you play this card. As well as 2 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This card, you tribute one of your stronger Dark World monsters like your Grapha, and then you can pick either spells or traps. Your opponent can't use spells or traps for the next couple turns. They all go to the grave. This card's busted. This is so good. This card and Skill Drain alone can win you games. It's very powerful. Going on into the extra deck, we have the Big Boss Monster, 3 copies of Grapha, the Dragon Lord of the Dark World. You can technically bring this down to 2. You're not really summoning all 3 at once, but it has a very powerful effect. It's going to change one of your opponent's effects, not negate it, not stop it, not, change the activation. It's going to change the effect to discard one of my cards in the hand. So it gets you the Cerulean effects like I was talking about, the added benefits of the secondary effects of the discards. As well, very powerful fusion monster. We summon it off of Ascension, so it's going to be easy to summon. Moving forward, I like to use 1. Ib, the World Chalice Priestess, Geonator Transverser, IP Masquerena, SP Little Knight, Nightmare Unicorn, Unchained Abomination, as well as Blackluster Soldier, the Soldier of Chaos, Saryuja Skull Dread, and Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddesses. So, the thing with the extra deck, you don't really need to use it, so Prosperity is also a really good option. The only card you're really looking to summon are these guys. Everything else is kind of just generic free support. SP Little Knight, Appaloosa, you can't go wrong. Honest to God, this is a perfect extra deck, that's all you need. But, the only one that you're really trying to summon in Archetype is the Grapha, the Dragon Overlord of Dark World. So, thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think of the deck? I hope you have a great day. Please don't forget to check out the channel, like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense, and I will see you in the next one.